Hello and welcome to the short spiel of Dylan from lolcoach.academy talking about hard stuck, how to stop being hard stuck, and what is hard stuck. So, the majority of players in League of Legends are stuck in the rank they're in as they get towards this point of the season. We're now past halfway through the season. There's a couple of months left as I'm recording this in September, and the ranked season is probably going to end around November. So basically, a quick rundown, because no one actually knows how League of Legends MMR system works, but basically a rundown is the longer the season goes on, the harder and harder it is for an account to climb. And this is for a few reasons. One, generally your win rate's going to start plateauing. So if you have a really good start at the season, or you've played now 300 games, your win rate's going to start plateauing. So you might have had a 60% win rate in your first 50 games, but one, as you climb higher, and two, as you play more games, it could have just been a lucky streak, and your win rate's going to slowly come down, which means you're not getting as many LP gains because you're not winning as much. Now, other things also occur, whereas when you're not winning as much, Riot then goes to itself in its algorithm. It basically says, hey, this account is not winning as many games as it used to. We're going to stop giving it as much LP per win, and we're going to start increasing the LP it loses per loss. Because if this account gets any higher, and no, the rank system isn't against you, it's going, if this account gets any higher, they're not going to be able to play at the skill level that they're going to end up in, and it's going to ruin their game, it's going to ruin their opponent's games because they don't want to be versing you if you don't deserve to be in that rank, and it's going to stuff up the whole system, because if everyone's just climbing all the time, there's no real barriers to entry and no real barriers to getting into higher ranks. Obviously, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's basically a simple issue. So if you're asking yourself at this point in the season, I'm hard stuck, how do I stop it? The short answer is you can't. The long answer is you can't unless you do something crazy. Now, short answer, you can't because of what I've just explained. The League of Legends ranked MMR system thinks that you deserve to be in the rank you currently are. If you've played like 100 plus games this season. If you're under 100 games, if you're in like that 50 to 75 to 100 game mark, League of Legends is still, the algorithm's actually still discovering what rank your account should be, or what its like true rank is, or what the algorithm's rank, what the algorithm thinks your rank should be based on your win and loss ratio and how many games you've played. So you've still got a bit of a hope there. So you're not hard stuck. If you've played less than 100 games, unless you're on like a 40% win streak, you're not hard stuck. But if you're like 95% of players where we're like 200 games in, 300 games in, 400, 500, 600 games, and we're averaging like anywhere between a 50 to 55% win rate, 50 to 54% win rate overall. So over all our ranked games this season, we're averaging between a 50 to 54% win rate. You're going to be stuck. It's going to be tough to climb. And I can visualize that for you quite quickly using this LP calculator. So what I'm going to show you quite quickly is this LP estimator. And for people who are just watching, who are just listening, I'm going to go through it. So basically what it does is you input your win percentage over a total number of games, and then you input how much LP you're winning and how much LP you're losing. And what it will do is, based on how much LP you're winning and how much LP you're losing over how many games with what win rate you have, it's going to spit out how much LP you're going to gain over X amount of games. And this is really useful as a guiding tool. This is not going to be a pinpoint accurate judgment or estimator of your rank. And if you're interested in actually using this using this LP estimator, after watching this or listening to this, I will have a link either in the description of the podcast or in the YouTube description below that you can access it through my Discord. So for this example, I'm going to put an average win rate that most of the players who are listening, most of the summoners who are listening probably have. I'm going to put a 53% win rate. Now, the thing with the calculator is you don't want to put too many games in because your LP gains and losses and your win rate are going to fluctuate quite a lot over like 50 to 75 to your next 100 games. So what I like to do is usually use a number between like 20 to 40. For this example, let's use 40 so we can kind of see it play out a bit more. So basically, right now I've got a 53% win rate over 40 games. That's what I would suggest. So what I would do if I was you and you're wanting to use this is you take whatever your current win rate is on your op.gg in ranked solo queue, you input that, then choose a number between 20 to 40. May as well just make it 40. It will spit out how many games you'll win, how many games you'll lose. So if it's a 53% win rate, you're going to win 21.2 of your games and you're going to lose 18.8. So obviously it uses decimals because it's it's not doing a true estimation. And then I'm going to put in what average players win and lose for LP with a 53% win rate, which is usually you're gaining about 16 LP for a win and you're losing about 14 LP for a loss. So what does the calculator spit out when it does that? So if you've got a 53% win rate over 40 games, you're winning 16 and you're losing 14, you're going to gain a total of 76 LP over those 40 games. And this is where that idea of, holy shit, I am hard stuck really sinks in, right? Because if you're averaging a 53% win rate and you're silver 1 and you're 0 LP, in 40 games time, you're going to still be silver 1 and you're going to be 76 LP. Now, again, take this with a grain of salt. This doesn't predict the future, this calculator, but it suggests just how hard it is to climb and just how many games you have to play to actually see significant results. So if you're a player who's thinking, why am I hard stuck? Like, I shouldn't be hard stuck. How do I get how do I get unstuck? It's really hard to do because the League of Legends MMR algorithm basically is saying that this is the rank you deserve to be at. And if you're a player who only has like a 52, 53% win rate over 300 games in Gold 4, guess what? You deserve to be Gold 4. It's a harsh reality, and you can maybe disagree with me and you can go, my teammates are holding me back or this is holding me back. But at the end of the day, it's not true. Because if that was true, then every player at every rank doesn't deserve to be where they're at. Every player who made it to Diamond doesn't deserve to be there. Every player who made it to Challenger and is now a pro player playing for millions of dollars, they don't deserve to be there because it's just this MMR system that rewards some people and punishes others. It's always punishing you. You know, that Gold 4 player who's been Gold for 3 seasons, over 300 games, and you're always blaming your teammates. It's not the system, it's not gaming you, it's you and your lack of performance and your lack of ability to prove to the system that you deserve to climb higher. And I've broken it down statistically for you. So let's say you're currently at like a 53% win rate, you're gaining 16 LP and you're losing 14 LP, and you go, well, I reckon I'm going to go on a hot streak, or I've really improved, or I'm going to get a VOD review from Dylan from lolcoach.academy, and after that, I reckon my win rate's going to be, let's go 55%. So, 55% win rate over 40 games, you're now going to win 22 games, you're going to lose 18, and you're going to gain a total of 100 LP. So if you're a silver 4, 0 LP, you'll now be silver 3, 0 LP in 40 games time. Again, a rough estimation. Now, this is where it gets interesting because a lot of you are never going to be able to hit a 55% win ratio over 40 games. Now, what do we do if we up it to 60? So let's say, most players want to climb really high, really fast. So let's up it to 60% win rate. So that means you're winning 6 in every 10 of your games that you're playing. This is very hard to sustain, by the way, over more than like 10 to 20 plus games. And if you've got a win rate of 60%, you're not hard stuck. So, but for the fun of it, let's use that. So 60% win rate over 40 games with a plus 16 LP and a minus 14 LP for losing, we would gain 160 LP. So for a silver 4 player, we would go to silver 3, 60 LP in 40 games with a 60% win rate. Now, the reason I'm going through all these examples is, one, your LP gains and losses aren't going to change that much over 40 games. If anything, they're probably going to go down because the longer and the more you play, the closer and closer your LP win and loss get. And if you start getting into the negative win rate territory where you're like 48% win rate, 49% win rate or lower, you may find that you start to lose more LP than you gain. And this is where you're going to start falling down the ladder. And again, this isn't the algorithm's fault. This is your fault because you're not performing well enough to climb. So, what are the takeaways from this? 1, the best way to fix being hard stuck is to never get hard stuck in the first place. Now, that might seem easier said than done, or be like, oh, well, that's great, Dylan, but it's too late for me now. It's not. If you want to keep playing this game, this is the biggest piece of advice I've got for you. Next season, before you queue up for ranked, because I'm looking at you, the people who have like 40 to 50 champions in their champion pool, next season, build yourself a strategy to climb. What do I mean by this? Pick one role. Pick a small champion pool and pick champions you have at least a 53% win rate or more on. If you do those 3 things, play one role, small champion pool, 2 to 4 champions max. Ideally, you want a one trick, and every champion you've got in that champion pool, you had at least a 53% win rate on last season. You're not going to get hard stuck as long as you stick to those rules. It's as soon as we start going outside of those rules, that is when players become hard stuck. So the majority of you right now, I can almost see your account. I can almost see your op.gg profile without looking at it. 1, you're going to have played more than 4 champions. I guarantee it. The average League of Legends ranked player plays about 30 to 40 ranked champions in ranked a season. So you've already fucked it. 2, I bet you're playing in your top 7 most played champions. There are champions with win rates of less than 53%. And 3, I bet you're playing champions across multiple roles, and that does not include autofill. It includes whenever you queue up for ranked and you don't choose the same primary role. So let's say you're a jungler and then you sometimes choose to go top lane as your primary role. That is not inducive of climbing. That is not beneficial for climbing. It's not the most efficient way to climb. Now, what do I want you to do at the end of this? I want you to process this information and go, the strategy to climb in League of Legends, the easiest strategy by far is to one trick a champion and have at least a 53% win rate on them. That's the best strategy you can do for climbing. The worst strategy you can do for climbing is playing every single champion that you own in ranked and not really having a strategy at all. What I want you to do now is think of that as a spectrum. So think of the one trick who has at least a 53% win rate as the spectrum on the left, and think on the far right, you've got the player who has no strategy at all and who plays every single champion in their champion pool that they feel like. What I want you to do now is think about where you are on this spectrum and ask yourself these 2 questions. Am I happy with where I am on the spectrum right now? So am I happy where I am on this scale right now? As in, do I enjoy the way I play League of Legends? Do I enjoy how quickly I'm climbing? Do I enjoy what rank I'm currently in? And do I think I can reach my goal rank where I am on this scale right now? And if the answer is yes, cool, you don't have to do anything. But if the answer is no, you now need to figure out where you want to be on this scale. From that one trick to the person that plays every champion based on whatever they feel like, you now need to pick a new point as your future self or your goal. And now you need to build a strategy of what you need to do to get yourself from the player that's on the scale here to the player that's on the scale to where you've just visualized yourself wanting to be based on your ranked goals, based on your dreams, based on how much effort you want to put into League of Legends, based on what your goals are. So, how to fix or how to stop being hard stuck is never getting there in the first place. So, what does this mean for you right now at this very moment? It means you can start building the habits, the champion pool, and the strategy you can for next season. It's not going to make you unhard stuck. But if you can up your win rate to at least 54% or higher, you will be able to climb. It's not going to be as quickly as you want, but you're going to be able to climb. And you notice that it's tough to climb below a 54% win rate, because if you're not winning more than 54% of your games in the rank you're in, you don't deserve to climb. If you're only just winning more games than you're losing, why on earth would the League of Legends ranked system help you climb? Why would they push you to verse better opponents if you can barely win more than 50% of your current ranked games? So that could be a wake-up call for a lot of delusional ranked players who think, I don't deserve to be in the rank I'm in. I always get trolled by my teammates. It's always my bad teammates that are holding me back. It's not my fault. I'm gold 4. This is the wake-up call to say, yes, it is. If you don't deserve to be in gold 4, prove it to the system. Get a 56% win rate. Get a 60% win rate. You will climb. The system will reward you if you show that you're better significantly than the people you're versing in your ranked solo queue games. And the best way to show that isn't by playing 60 champions. It's by playing a small champion pool that you have at least a 53% win rate on or higher, and you play them consistently. So, build up that strategy, take it into next season, make sure you take all this advice with a grain of salt and go, well, hang on, I just want to play League of Legends for fun, and that's fine. Take away what you want from what I've said and apply it to your own personal situation. I'm not trying to give you guys a one method or one size fits all model. What I'm trying to do is give you the optimal way to climb and the worst way to climb. And then I want you to put yourself on that scale, figure out where you are, and then figure out where you want to be on that scale, and then go, do I want to put in the effort to get where I want to be? It's a serious question. You're going to have to ask yourself it. And if you can, you're going to do well. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I feel like it's a bit of a rant, but basically being hard stuck in League of Legends is basically your own fault. And it's mostly due to lack of strategy at the start of the season. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, if you're interested in my services or if you're interested in finding out more about me or in my Discord, search on Google lolcoach.academy. I've got links in the descriptions below for the podcast as well as for the YouTube. Please go to the links below, join my Discord, visit my site, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it.